Hey everybody, Drew here, and you are in my shop with this difficult bearing diagnosis. So let me show you what I got and try to help you as much as possible. So this Corolla has these sick wheels on it, but they're 17-inch by 8-inch wide wheels on a Corolla. So kind of difficult to, I had thought that this was coming from the front driver's side, but it's difficult to pinpoint. You know, you get on it, you bank one way and you think, okay, well, there's more weight on that side of the car, and that's when it gets louder, so it might be that. But to complicate things, some bearings will make more noise when the load is lessened. And to complicate it even more, the sway bar, which I have a video, it's very important that you watch it if you don't fully understand what a sway bar does. The link is in the description. The sway bar can transfer loads to the opposite wheel that you might think, depending on, you know, how you're cornering and a million other factors. So what I've got here is one that I had a pretty hard time, like I said, I thought it was this one here. And, normally what I do is I pull the wheels off and I put the car in drive and I hold the spring. Now, to really complicate things, I could feel a vibration in this spring because I'm working on a unibody car and the vibration from the engine's coming through it. To complicate things more, this car is also in need of new brakes. This wheel spins freely, and the other one, the caliper's a little bit hung up. So I had to put vice grips on this to get this side over here spinning. Now I come over here, and again, there's a little bit of vibration in the spring. Normally you could feel in a spring where, which wheel bearing is worse, or you can hear the wheel bearing, but again, both of these have a vibration, the spring that is, even with the car in park. And neither wheel is making an audible sound. I'm just gonna throw that in neutral real quick. Neither wheel is making an audible sound. You wanna hear positive reinforcement. You wanna hear, you just wanna know for a fact that you're about to change the right wheel bearing. Now, obviously, if you pull everything apart and you get to the point where you could spin the hub by hand, there's no axle in it, there's no brakes on it, maybe you would say, well, this one feels good, let me take apart the other side. I mean, guys, if you're like me, you don't have time for those shenanigans. The term diagnosis, the term diagnosis essentially means to discern, to get knowledge by, I believe gnosis is Greek for knowledge, diagnosis, it comes from basically discern, to come to knowledge from discernment. And discernment usually means like figuring something out with a lot of effort, right? By the way, a lot of life makes more sense to me. You know, the Greek, I learned the Greek and how to understand it from studying the Bible, and that makes life really make sense. That's a whole nother topic, but you should study it. Anyways, point is, so you want your diagnosis to tell you what parts to change. You don't want to throw parts at cars. You don't want to do, you load the parts cannon and waste time and money. So what's next? You could feel neither one makes a major noise. Well, this is an $8 tool from Harbor Freight. And if you don't have that, you can use a garden hose or a screwdriver, a really long screwdriver. And right here, a nice little spot on the caliper. If you have one of those stethoscopes I just showed you, you can actually, with a little bit of grease, you can put it inside there, and you should only hear a very minimal whirring of a smooth machine surface on the end of your stethoscope, and you can put it on here. This wheel, I wish there was a way for me to show you. Actually, there is. Hang on. So this will cost you more than a screwdriver or a stethoscope, but these are a bunch of microphones that clip onto mechanical parts of the car and listen for sound through a speaker. So that's the sound of this wheel, which I think is good, and that's what I heard in my stethoscope. Now we're over here. Let's see here. There we go. So I'm sure you can hear that. I'm gonna put it back in neutral and shut her down. So that is what I heard in my stethoscope, or again, your garden hose piece or your screwdriver. Screwdriver's a little better. You literally put the round part of the plastic handle. And by the way, if you're wondering why screwdrivers smell like something died in your toolbox, there's a link to a video in the description. And I'm serious, watch it. But anyways, that this is quite clearly, now again, you don't need this expensive tool. It's about 99 bucks. There might be a video in the description showing how much I love this tool, but for all intents and purposes, a very easy diagnosis with a screwdriver or an $8 stethoscope. And by the way, you can hear how that works. So in this particular case, this was a tough one for the obvious, for the average person that doesn't know this trick, which is the point of this video, is to show you this trick. So this has been a full-blown wheel bearing diagnosis on what happens to be an absolutely gorgeous Toyota Corolla. I'll throw a video link in the description as well if you want to see this car, the full walk around, test drive, and review of this car, which is a pretty amazing vehicle. It's on another channel for the dealership that my wife and I own, which is, again, I'm owner operator of, which is a whole nother topic altogether, and I try not to cross the channels. I am at work, and that's where I get the content to show you guys on this channel, and that is, the office side of it, and these videos, like the one that I'm talking about, are to advertise these cars for sale. So again, I try not to cross the channels because it's not always appropriate to do so, but yeah, that's the gist of it. So hopefully at some point in this video you were taught something, and if you were, would really appreciate a thumbs up, or even if you were just entertained. It helps the channel a lot. And if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to the channel, and you certainly will. And again, make sure to check out the videos in the description. And again, I always sign off and I say, if I could do it, you could do it, which is true. Just be careful if you don't know what you're doing. Make sure you educate yourself on safety. And I always say, God bless you. I blurted out a little bit about Greek, and that I get it from the Bible. And I just want to say, in general, studying the Bible, and I don't mean reading it, I don't mean reading other people's writings about it. I mean praying, reading it, getting into the nuts and bolts, taking apart every word, finding reliable historical context of, who wrote it, to whom did they write it, why did they write it, what year did they write it, what was going on in the town that they were writing it to. Like, for example, Paul was writing to the Church of Rome from the year, if I recall correctly, from the year 57. What was going on in Rome in the year 57? I'm talking studying it. Well, in studying the Bible and coming to know that literally everything it says is true, and it's very important to read all of what it's saying, not just a single word. But anyways, in just studying the Bible, it's made me understand things in life that aren't Bible related, like why we have diagnosis and prognosis and all those things. And yeah, I just thought that was a little bit handy to elaborate on a little bit more. So I strongly encourage anybody watching this that's interested by anything I just said to dig into the Bible. Read the Gospel of John. That is basically that is one of the closest disciples of Jesus, actually the one that he trusted to take care of his mother when he was, physically gone. His name is John, and he wrote his account to people of non-Jewish descent, which is most of us. Of course, Matthew was also very close to him and wrote his gospel for a Jewish audience. Not that, both can't benefit from each, but, the gospel, ask him, just say, please, God, show me who you are, show me who I am, and read the Gospel of John and also the book of Romans and the book of Ephesians, which are letters by, the book of Romans is huge, by the Apostle Paul to the church in Rome, which has a lot of parallels to us here in the United States today. So this is a car repair channel, not a ministry channel. I'm building a ministry channel. Don't worry, I will drop links to it when it's done, but it'll be a while. But I'm telling you, if this tugged at your heart at all, it's just the tip of it. Go ahead and read John. The New Living Translation's great. It's in modern plain English. It is dynamic equivalence, so it's kind of a thought-for-thought modern translation, which is beneficial. And the New King James, which is a revision of the original 1611 translation of the Bible into English under King James I. That is in formal equivalence, or as close to word for word as possible, a little harder to understand. Put the two of them next to each other, and you know what? I'll delete any negativity I get from this, because it's my channel. But I'd love to hear if any of this Bible talk blessed you, and I'd certainly love to hear if you were intrigued by this, went off and found God in the scriptures, because he's there. So anyways, take care. God bless. Bye.